I think most people, when they run for office, are doing it because they want to help people, and I'm no different. But the timing, it's kind of interesting because the first time I ran, I had been on the Comprehensive Plan Committee. Back then it was called the Master Plan Committee, and I wanted to see it implemented. And then I was away from council for 12 years, and it just so happened that when I was ready to come back in 14, we had just finished a comprehensive plan, and I had chaired the Citizen Committee. And as you know, we're hopefully going to finish up the comp plan this month. And so again, it's seeing that through. In addition, people always want to be a voice for the people. And one of the difficulties with that is there's a lot of people with a lot of different opinions. And so you need to listen to everyone. You try to find a balance and you try to find a compromise, which is what I do. And so there are always projects when you're in office. Some start, you don't always get to see the end of it if you're only here for 2 or 3 years. And one of the projects that we're starting now is the new City Hall and the Hopkins Street redevelopment. And so I would like to see at least another 2 years of that. I think our relationship is pretty good now. Top staff at the university meet with our city manager and other staff. They do that on a regular basis. They report back to council, and a lot of things if there's issues, a lot of things get resolved then, but we're making each other aware of what our plans are. The university has invited me and our city manager, Stephanie Reyes, to be part of the master plan process, and so I have made every one of those meetings, and that has been a learning experience to know what their focus is for the future. They have some very exciting ideas, and so that has been a good experience. Kelly Danfus and I chat ever so often. It's something that the door is always open, and just last week he called and said, "I've got an idea for something." And I said, "Okay," and so I'll be forwarding that on to city staff. In addition, it's important to some of these faculty to have the mayor at events. I will be again judging the 3-minute thesis event. I'm one of several judges. I am asked to go to the Studies in Entrepreneurship series, and so I attend as many of those as I can. I'm just introduced there, but it's important to the students to see, oh, the mayor's here, she cares. And then there are a number of faculty members who have asked me to come in and address their classes. One, he was out of town and I actually taught his class, but it was City Government Day, so that worked out just fine. I'm also meeting regularly with our student government president and vice president. We did a number of those when we redid the Land Development Code back in 2018. There were a number of housing types that were added, but the builders aren't asking for those options, and I'm not sure why. And they seem content with 3-bedroom, 2-bath for residential or multifamily. So the Land Development Code will be up for review after the comprehensive plan is complete, which hopefully will be in October. And so we will see what other housing options there are, what's new. The planning staff will advise us with their professional opinion and information, and they will let us know. We'll look at that. I'm for pretty much anything as an option in order to see what we can do. Personally, I wish we had more what we used to call starter homes. Nobody's building those anymore. Builders tell me, well, nobody will buy them, and I'm going, yeah, I think they will, because I hear from a lot of people who want the smaller starter home. So I'm hoping that maybe that's something that will come about. But anyway, we will see what options come forward. We are lucky to live in a city with such history and so many historic homes. We've inventoried those with the Historic Resources Survey. There was more research done than others because there was more to know. But all homes of a certain age have been, at least on the windshield tour, have been identified. And what we did, what the City Council did when a very historic structure was demolished a few years ago, is that people asked us, we want time and we need to know about it. In that particular case, the gentleman had gone to the trouble of getting an estimate of what it would cost to move that building. He had given it to our planning staff, but we did not have a vehicle for how that information would be distributed. I did meet with him after I found out about it, but it was 2 days before the structure was to come down, and the interior had already, a lot of demolition happened on the interior. I'm not sure that concrete building could have been moved. The estimate to move it, just to move it, was $360,000. And then of course you'd have to have a site prep, etc. So what the public asked us for was, they said, give us time and tell us. So we created our historic demolition ordinance. We have a list of people to notify: council, planning, zoning commission, historic preservation commission, the president of the Heritage Association, and several other groups. And it's 90 days that they will have to wait. But we cannot tell anyone that they cannot demolish a building. Even if it's got a national registry sign on it, that does not stop a demolition. There is a provision that the Historic Preservation Commission can ask for another 90 days if they feel like that there's some possibility there. And so that's what we did, is people asked for us for notify and time delay, and that's what we did. We actually didn't have a separate application to demolish a building. You get a site prep, you're moving dirt. And so now to demolish a building, it's a separate process. There is not any, there's not any delay on those things. And that's what we did whenever people asked us and said, this is what we need help with. And the university has agreed to abide by that, and they are. And so that's a good thing. The trick is finding someone who will take the buildings, has a location to put them, and but there's promise and there's hope.